The Stern, Bella, and I need your help. Now, this is kind of like what you're playing this weekend, but I need some help here. It is September 13th. It's Friday the 13th. Okay, perfect. I'm not saying any games are bad. Let me just preface that, okay? Like, think of it like wine. So, when I was at Valve, I had a bunch of fancy people there who knew a bunch of fancy wines, and then we would go out to dinner and be like a $500 bottle of wine, and I'd be like, I can buy whatever wine I want. I have money. You know what I'm drinking this weekend or this evening? A bottle of white wine from Trader Joe's. Like, I know wines. And I know the low end of wines too. Like, I know Mad Dog 2020, the different flavors, what they taste like going down, as well as coming out and your projectile vomiting against a wall in downtown Cleveland. Ugh, none of them taste good that way, by the way. Okay, so I'm not saying any of these games are bad, but I'm trying to play Mafia, the Definitive Edition, and it ain't doing it for me, man. There's just so many cutscenes, like every 5 seconds. And I get, like, there's an open world, but there's not an open world. Like, they teach you these cool things. I'm like, oh, I'll just trade in a bunch of cars. What am I going to trade in these cars? What is going, like, it's not doing it for me. Again, fine game, not bad. And I know first someone's going to tell me, oh, play Red Dead Redemption 2. No. Same thing. I was playing it, and I did a couple of missions in, and I actually succeeded in the mission, but I failed the mission because I didn't do it the way they wanted me to do it. And then I built up my base, and then they told me, oh, yeah, we're moving. The base doesn't mean anything. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this game, so I don't ever want to play that game again. Okay, fine game. Maybe you enjoy it. I don't. But then, so I don't want to go back and play Far Cry 4 or something, and I played Tom Clancy Wildlands way too many times. And so why do I like that game in particular is because they have a bunch of things you have to do. They have a bunch of missions, story missions, as well as they have a bunch of like little side quests, right, that you build up your character with. All of them you can do any way you want. Occasionally you have one that has to be stealthy, but for the most part, you can do them any way you want. So you can call in mortar strikes, you can call in like friends to help, you can fly in with a helicopter, you can airdrop in, you can drive in, you can be stealthy. Like, I like that. I like having all of that because that scratches a good part of my brain of like the strategy of like, oh, what would be the fun thing to try here and see if I can pull off. So any games like that out there? I think I would. And don't say Wildlands 2 or whatever, that Tom Clancy Wildland Ghost whatever the second one was. The naming of these things. That didn't do it for me. There's something about the whole presentation. I don't know. I keep saying I should go back and try it again, but I just hated the whole presentation of it. I don't know. So, what should I play? Open to suggestions. I was kind of thinking going back and playing Saints Row 3 because I have fond memories of that, and I haven't played that since it came out. As a remaster, but man, is that what I remember? I don't know. There's at some point I'll tell a story of that because I know Steve Jaros who wrote that, which is it's brilliantly written and hilarious. He had one good story that I'll tell his story for him. But so what are you playing this weekend? And then any suggestions? It's okay, figure I played it, but maybe not. Like some people were saying like the War Dogs or Sleeping Dogs, that didn't do it for me. The one where you got to play every character. I always forget the name of that series. And I had friends who worked on it. I had friends who ran that last one. I feel bad. But that didn't do it for me because I felt like I was just using the drone all the time. And it just became repetitive. Like, yeah. So, I know I had a little bit of story. But also, to be fair, I skip the story often, unless it makes me laugh. But, like, that kind of open world shooterish kind of thing, I was almost thinking of going back and seeing if I could find San Andreas somewhere. I thought I remember liking that. Where I thought 4 was more tight and 5 was okay, but not really either, because it has the same problem, kind of. Right, you always want to have that moment where you're like, I'm going to go find the helicopter. And that you can solve the mission with the helicopter. It's really bad when, in 4, they would take the helicopter away when they didn't want you to use the helicopter. I remember that. Or they would, or they just say, oh, you can't use it or whatever, right? So open world, kind of shootery. Am I missing one? All the Far Cry's done. Assassin's Creeds don't do it for me. Yeah, I'm being picky. But again, not saying any of those games are bad. I'm just saying I like the $5 bottle of wine from Trader Joe's.